Hello everyone, my name is Robin and VIZ Media now owns RWBY. Today, on the 11th anniversary of RWBY Volume 1's premiere, Carrie Shawcross and Barbara Dunkelman announced this online, and there is a blog post for more information including artwork with new Team RWBY designs in it. Let's get right into it, starting with the announcement video.
Hey everybody, my name's Carrie Shawcross.
I'm Barbara Dunkelman.
And we have some exciting news here today. I know a lot of you have been wondering what's going to happen with RWBY, and we finally have an answer. RWBY has found a new home with VIZ Media.
Woo! I'm very excited.
Me too.
Obviously, and I know you guys will all be very excited. What this means is VIZ Media will be the home to the RWBY franchise. So that includes production, distribution, licensing, consumer products, and more.
As you can tell, we're very excited about this. This is a huge opportunity to grow our audience and expand into the future. In talking with VIZ, they're also very excited about this. They obviously care about where the show is now, but they also care about where it came from, and they want to make sure that we can continue this story.
We are currently in talks with them about RWBY's future, and we are very hopeful for what's to come for this beloved series. So excited to work with VIZ Media and to see what's next for RWBY.
For more information on this and all things RWBY going forward, you can go to VIZ's official blog post at viz.com/RWBY. That's the RWBY one, not the RUBY one.
You guys should know that by now.
Yeah.
VIZ will be posting more information on all things RWBY, so stay tuned for updates.
And thank you so much for supporting us over the years. It's what's gotten us here, and it's what's going to continue to propel RWBY into the future. So thank you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
And let's head over to the blog post with the fleshed out details, including an FAQ. So this was posted on the VIZ Media blog, and it is in the description below. It reads, "A new adventure awaits RWBY. RWBY, Weiss, Blake, and Yang aren't finished just yet. We are excited to announce that RWBY is joining the VIZ roster of global anime and manga hits." It goes on, "We are grateful to the Rooster Teeth team for entrusting us with RWBY, and we are excited to carry forward the legacy of the series. The RWBY franchise is not new to VIZ. We first partnered with Rooster Teeth in 2016, announcing a publishing partnership to develop a manga series by famed mangaka Shiro Miwa. From there, VIZ deepened its ties to the brand by releasing a series of acclaimed RWBY manga titles as well as the beloved World of RWBY compendium book. When it comes to the future of RWBY, even more great stories featuring the characters you know and love are in the works. We invite you to head over to the RWBY page and favorite the series to stay up to date with future RWBY announcements and to follow the official RWBY X account and Facebook page for real-time news, notifications, and more. Have more questions? Please see our FAQ below, and this is where a lot of the most pertinent news is. What will happen to the official RWBY social handles? So this is the official RWBY X account and Facebook page will remain active for the fans, and these will be your best sources to follow for news. The official RWBY Japan X account will also stay active. What does VIZ have planned for the future of RWBY? This is a big one. VIZ is exploring the production of new chapters in the RWBY saga, and we will make announcements as soon as we can. So the key word there is new. Okay, then the next question, has RWBY Volume 10 officially been confirmed? They say there's no news on a new season of RWBY. Please follow the official RWBY X account and Facebook page for the latest updates. So, no news yet on a new season of RWBY, which is then insinuating that it would be something like a Volume 10, whatever they choose to make. Will VIZ use former production team members in the future? Carrie Shawcross, series showrunner and co-creator, will be involved in the next phase of RWBY. And this is very important language here because they say involved, they don't say how so. So he will be involved, which shows that he has some amount of creative agency, but as for like in what role, what he will be a part of, will he be writing it, will he just be an advisor? You know, we don't necessarily know that yet, but his involvement does still show creative agency on the part of the original crew. Now for the distribution side of things, where will RWBY Volumes 1 through 9 be available to watch? If you aren't aware, RWBY has been taken completely off of Crunchyroll, at least in terms of the show proper. The Ice Queendom anime is still there, but the show proper is not. So stay tuned for updates on where to watch. VIZ is exploring wider distribution for this series, including home video releases, additional streaming platform releases, and more. So it will become available for streaming in the future. Will RWBY merch continue to be available? We have lots in store for official RWBY merch, so stay connected to get updates. And so remember Carrie Shawcross saying that consumer products would be in the hands of VIZ. This is them saying here now that yes, we will continue to make merch. Will the RWBY original soundtracks be available to stream and or to buy? And if you aren't in the loop about that, they've been taken completely off of streaming platforms now. They're not available on Spotify, they're not available on YouTube Music, they're not available on Amazon Music. And there are a couple different reasons for that, but now we are able to see that this was mostly procedural, if not just the mere factor of the license for streaming was not available to be renewed because Rooster Teeth didn't exist anymore. But now we are seeing that now that there is an ownership and now that we can get that back up and running, we will be able to stream RWBY's music in the future. And there's also a question about first subscriptions, which would all be refunded and, sent back, which should have already happened by now. And that is pretty much it as far as the blog goes. But lastly, there is new artwork drawn by former art director Aaron Wynn. It appears to be a tease of new designs to come. Much of it is obscured though to not reveal too much. So I'll talk about that now. There's the broken moon up top, and they're standing on what looks to be sandstone, sedimentary rock, or, the desert, aka vacuo. RWBY looks like it could just be her Atlas outfit that she's in. I'm not sure if the hairstyle is any different. It looks like it could be, but it's still very hard to tell. Could be all new, could be different. She could be sleeveless or is the same gray sleeves from her Atlas outfit, but we really start to see differences with the rest of her team. Weiss has a much more lightweight, breathable dress than the heavy, multi-layered one that she wore in Atlas. Blake appears to have a predominantly black design, even disregarding the fact that she's mostly in silhouette. It looks like she's wearing a black tailcoat now with rolled up sleeves, or they just plain stop above the elbow, and she has 2 yellow earrings on her left cat ear. Yang most noticeably has a ponytail and exposed shoulders, with sleeves separate from her top. And that's just about it for this piece of artwork, and we're kind of wrapping up on the news segment, but there is one thing that I want to bring up, one more topic. This is great news. It's good to see that things are moving forward with the RWBY IP, and so when can we expect Volume 10, right? The thing I want to say here is, even if Volume 10 were announced tomorrow, we're still at least 2 years out. And why is that? RWBY used to premiere yearly, but we cannot expect Volume 10 to premiere 1 year from now in the fall of 2025 for a few reasons. And mainly, that's because with the change in ownership, there would have to be a considerable pre-production period before they can move on to the actual production. So in other words, they need to spend time figuring out how to actually make RWBY Volume 10 or whatever it is before they can make it. They need to figure out the boring technical stuff like how much money are we spending on making it? How should we spend it? What tools should we use to make this show? How should we use them? It's very technical mumbo jumbo like that. And then once all of that is decided, if it were to be contracted out to an already existing animation studio to make, they need to find one that has the time to make it amidst any of their other productions that they're making. So things look promising, but I do want to emphasize that even in a perfect world, Volume 10 or whatever else that they make is distant, kind of no matter how you slice it. Oh, and one more thing, Tyrion's voice actor, Jessie James Grelle, has now agreed to come back into the role as Tyrian Callows. If you aren't familiar, when Kaden Jensen had went public about her mistreatment at RT as a trans person, Jessie James had said, "I'm not voicing Tyrion anymore, basically you can recast the role, move on without me." But now with this change in studio, change in ownership, change in environment, Jessie James has now said that she is good with reprising the role and would want to be back in it, saying, "Congrats guys, this is awesome, I hope I get to reprise Tyrion soon. He's the most fun villain to voice, period." So to recap everything very quickly, RWBY is now under the VIZ Media umbrella, who now owns the rights to licensing, distribution, merchandising, production, etc. All of which will move forward now. Carrie Shawcross will still have creative agency with the franchise, and based on the word choice, future projects will be new and not a reboot. They are looking toward making new things, but they are still very, very early on in that process, so it is understandable that they cannot announce Volume 10 or anything similar to that just yet. Thank you for watching. I just had to get this video out as soon as possible. It's exciting to see RWBY back and this whole continuation, Carrie Shawcross still involved, potentially more people if, they're gonna have Aaron Wynn doing art for it and everything as well. I'm very certain that most, if not all, of the voice cast is going to be very much the same too, everyone reprising their roles. And that's just about it. As I always say, like and subscribe to stay up to date on any further RWBY news. We now have to follow VIZ Media to see everything that's coming up with that, as well as just following the RWBY social media as always. With all of that said, I'll see you next time. I'm Robin Rising. Have a good one.